just the excitement around the Circle City Film Festival. It's the day before. It's like Christmas Eve for me.
Ryan Little.
All right, so the Queen has arrived.
Thank
so
you.
much for doing the show.
Thank you for having me.
For sitting down with the Focus series. We're honored to have you. I've done now. This will be the third episode, excluding myself.
Okay.
So you'll be the second filmmaker. Besides me.
Nice, nice.
So it's really.
I'm honored.
Thank you. Yeah. And you know, with the different art forms that we'll display, you know, in the show, film is obviously my favorite. I think it's the most impactful. I think it has the most power. And so it's an exciting time this week. The Circle City Film Festival is taking place in Indianapolis.
Yes.
So we're going to start there. On Facebook today, you said God is showing out.
Yes.
To that effect.
Yes.
What is the Most High doing?
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, he gave me a new job today. So that is really what sparked it. But then it's also just the excitement around the Circle City Film Festival. It's the day before. It's like Christmas Eve for me. So, you know, I'm just really excited that so many filmmakers and artists are coming from, you know, other parts of the world to be able to be here and just experience what we're trying to do.
When did you get the idea for a film festival?
So I went to my very first film festival in 2013, and I was just completely just taken aback by it. And I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. I learned so much. I met so many people, and it was something that I've always wanted to do, but I just kind of stuck it in the back of my head because there's no way I could do a film festival. For one, I was just starting to really get into being a filmmaker, and I was like, I'll never be able to do that. About 3 years ago, I went to the first annual National Black Film Festival in Houston, and I met the creators of that festival. And they're two young black, it was a guy and a girl, under 30, and they were putting together something that was much bigger than them. And I'm like, if they can do it, I know I can do it. So I put the wheels in motion, and following year, Circle City Film Festival was born.
Awesome. So how was the first year? From what I heard, it was a great turnout, major success. How would you describe it?
It was way more than I could have asked for. My heart was so full by the end of it. We had about 40 films submitted, about 32 screened. We had, you know, people coming from LA and Atlanta to come and pour into the attendees and serve as what we call mentors. People really enjoyed themselves. It was also around the time that was really hard for me because I had literally just lost a friend of mine who was an actress in the Atlanta community. She and her children passed away. And her name is Chelsea Ray Stanberry, and her daughter Anaya and her sons AJ and Chase passed away in a car accident, and their funeral was the weekend of the film festival. So I was, you know, a little bit of a mess, but, you know, ironically I talked to her husband that day, and you know, just hearing how strong he was, it made me just kind of like toughen up. And we, you know, knocked it out. We made the most of it, and it was just a beautiful thing.
So the first year was dedicated to her?
Absolutely. So we immediately changed the name of the award show to the Chelsea Awards. We presented the Best Actress with the Chelsea Ray Stanberry Best Actress Award. This year, though, we were redoing everything here. It's still the Chelsea Awards, but we're actually honoring an aspiring actor with a $1,500 acting scholarship in her name.
That's amazing. So, along those lines, the festival does the give backs and the workshops. Talk about why that's important.
Well, because you should always be a student. In anything that you do, you're never the best. You're never the greatest. I don't care if you are an expert in your field. You can never stop learning. You may consider yourself to be the greatest, but even the greatest has room to grow. So, we offer these workshops and these discussions, these panels, so that you can get nuggets and knowledge from other people who are either walking in the same field as you are or who have, surpassed you in that field. It's always good to hear different perspectives. And you can take away a little bit from everyone because they may know something that you didn't know. So it's really important to continue your growth in your craft so that you can become better and better and better.
Absolutely. I was listening to an interview you did before where you talked about how there's so much talent in Indiana, and one of the people asked you, since you're in Atlanta, they said, well, why not just do a festival in Atlanta? And you said, well, I feel like it's a little oversaturated, and you even correct yourself, so we're not even so much oversaturated, but I feel like there's a better need back at home because you have so many talented people, which meant a lot to a lot of people to hear that, I'm sure. But that's where I want to focus on, Yeah. Talk a little bit about that as far as Indiana filmmakers and your thoughts on having it here.
So, Atlanta, everybody comes to Atlanta, right? From casting directors to celebrities to filmmakers, producers, everybody comes to Atlanta. It's the first place everybody wants to go and do a workshop or do a film festival or whatever the case may be. There are thousands of award shows in Atlanta for actors and for artists. When I was coming up as an actor in Indianapolis, I did not feel like I had the tools and the resources that I needed to really further my career. The industry here or the community here wasn't what it is today. And I lacked that, that extra push. I had to go elsewhere to find it. I went to Chicago. I went to Atlanta. I traveled around trying to find the next big role or the next best workshop or training class or whatever the case may be. And so along that journey, I was able to work with a lot of the people who are front and center today. And there is a lot of talent in Indianapolis. I've seen it. I've worked with them. I know that it's here, and I feel like there is a void. It more and more starting to pop up here, but I just feel like that there is a void when it comes to us being able to showcase our talent. It's more than just having a premiere because I am releasing a new film. It's about celebrating. It's about iron sharpening iron. It's about creating new opportunities and new networks for each other. Just being able to bounce ideas off of other like-minded individuals. And so I just felt like Indianapolis would be the perfect place to have that because we didn't really have that.